Good morning, traders. Please like my video if you can. Comments below are appreciated. And retweet me on Twitter, Gummy9662C, if you get a chance. So I guess my title yesterday was not square on with what actually happened. I mean, I saw that several of the megatechs were crossing out above their daily Ichimoku clouds yesterday morning, and boy, did they just take off! Nvidia, Tesla, both of them, they no more than cross above the cloud, and they just take off to the moon. So wow, amazing! I think Amazon did too. Um, so just amazing what happened on those squeezes yesterday. So I'm starting with the ZBs this morning, and what I want to point out here, back in 2023, this is right at the price point where institutions stepped up and started buying the 30-year bonds, defending the 30-year bonds at this price point. So for 2 years now, this has been the defense, the do or die area here for the bond markets, and here we are again, do or die on the bond markets right here, right now. So while the markets are making new highs here, uh, the equity markets are making new highs. The bond markets are imploding, into major support as we speak. So it's really important. It's not a problem until it is. The channel I got on here is a regression channel, and we're right at the bottom of the regression channel, getting a little bit of a bounce this morning. First time in a long time here, a little bit of bounce. And I also want to point out here, if you go over down on your 4 hour, that's your weekly webs. No. Let's go down daily webs, 15 to 30 minute. Yeah. On your daily webs here, we're right at that major support. And what we're doing here, as far as inventory goes, most of the inventory in the overnight is above our point of control. So we reached down yesterday into the close, afternoon close, and we're currently getting a bounce above that point of control from yesterday. So this is the first sign of maybe some bullish reversal in the 30 and 20 years. In our bond markets, suggesting that we finally might have hit a point where institutions are willing to step up and start defending these prices. So it's a very limited view right here, but something to think about here. We might actually start to see a turn in the yields. Okay, so be very mindful of that as we go forward here. Okay, as far as price action happening this morning, I want to start with Ethereum this morning. It's one of the biggest losers this morning. And if you go on your weekly webs, okay, we have hit a major weekly supply area right here, and we're rejecting off that this morning. So a prior major weekly supply potentially here that we are rejecting from, and it actually potentially completes this upside pattern. So be very mindful of this. This could be a completed upside pattern here on Ethereum this morning, and we're seeing a lot of patterns like that this morning. Bitcoin, similar situation, potentially has completed this upside pattern into this supply area. Actually trading this is slightly above that this morning. So both of these could be under pressure. The whole crypto sector could be under pressure this morning, so be very mindful of that. MSTR would, in theory, be under pressure as well. Can't really say. It's more supported, it looks like, at this point. And the highest for this equity is right here. So this is your major test for a breakout, is if we were to get up to this price point right there. The below right around 450, and could very well be playing out here. MSTR to move into 450 to do a major back test of that level. So let's see. I don't want to get too short yet on those names, thinking that they may still want to be trying to attempt that in the crypto space. So just be very mindful of that going forward here. VX futures taking it on the end, on the chin again this morning. There you go. We're right down in here into a major weekly demand area, potential weekly demand area here on the VX futures. So be very mindful of that. We go down on the daily real quick, 30-minute here, daily Wes. And when I see that potentially into weekly demand, look at here, we are currently trading above the point of control. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as we're above basic 1810, it does look like we might be seeing a change in character. We might be seeing a uh, 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 people starting to put hedges back on in the market. And with that being said, and I haven't even looked at it yet, skew. See if the skew actually expanded yesterday. I mean, and we'll go on the daily here. It looks better on the weekly. I'm sorry, weekly here. And as you can see here, guys, the skew uh, so far for the week, we closed near the highs. Yeah, so there's continuing to put out of the money puts. Institutions are put hedging themselves in out of the money puts at these prices. So be very mindful of that. So there is a hedging mechanism starting to play out uh, in the options arena. So suggesting that traders are getting a little bit worried at this massive pop in the markets. Okay, so be very mindful of that going forward here. On the bullish side here, I did go through here real quick here. I didn't see any of our big boys on the big side here on the bullish side this morning. So heads up on that. I'm just not seeing anything really standing out here on the bullish side. Let's see here. Trading volumes and any of that. Let's see, we got 52,000 in the 6E. I think it's Euro futures. Okay. Let's go down here on the 4 hour. No big thing. This was a breakout on the Euro futures. They're defending it, so it looks like the Euro futures are defending a very critical support. Heads up on that. This prior high, they're defending it this morning. Rallying Euro futures are rallying off that. Any other volumes here? That's 52,000. 6J, that's Japanese yen. This right here was a major. So that's rallying. So 6J is rallying. So Japanese yen is rallying this morning. That is a risk off indication because, when the Japanese yen, that this is your carry trade, when it's rallying, that warns of an unwind in the carry trade. So be mindful of that. Generally speaking, when you start seeing Japanese yen catching a bid, that is generally a precursor to a risk-off sentiment for the trading session. So be mindful of that as well. Okay, that's kind of what's going on in the futures market. We just opened. I don't know if we got any pre-market stuff. 4:19 in the morning here. I did notice that Tesla and Nvidia are up again this morning. Okay, 1 second here. I want to show you on these clouds. Say some things happening this morning here at NVIDIA. We're right into what potentially is a major supply, potential major supply here, right above our regression down channel this morning. It could be just a back test and hold here in the session or a back test and fail. So we definitely want to keep this one on watch. We did yesterday. We just finally crossed out above the Ichimoku cloud, and wow, what a day it was for NVIDIA. Tesla's on watch here, guys. To me, the pattern does not look complete yet. So I definitely want to point this out to everybody. Right here is a major weekly supply area. It comes in at 353, 354 area. So, and we haven't gotten there yet. So currently this morning we're at trading about 339. So, I'd much rather, if you're long, stay long, in theory. Thinking that we're going to come all the way back into that weekly supply. So, that's pretty much, and we just finally crossed out above on the bullish side of our Ichi cloud. So, that helps support that narrative. So, that's just some things I'm looking at here on that one. We have in a few hours Alibaba reporting, I think, and FXI, Chinese internet names. We have weekly supply above us here that has not completed. So this pattern hasn't completed. Thinking that FXI, so we might see a continuation in some of the bids in the China internet space early on in today's session. Heads up on that. Palantir had a really nice recovery yesterday. Okay, breaking out into new all-time high area. We got double topping as we speak. We did actually put a new all-time high in yesterday. So always keep this one. We got to keep this on watch for a continuation breakout. And that's pretty much what I'm seeing on that on the Palantir front. And that's one of our leaders on the leaderboard here. Coin's pretty much after a massive move yesterday, it being added to the S&Ps. It's just digesting the move today. If you guys didn't see it, wow. But bottom line is Coin has more room, in my opinion, for this move higher up into the 280 area. So, in my opinion, 280 is actually a more relevant supply area than where we're currently at. That doesn't mean we're going to do it today. Okay, guys. Higher on the HIMS this morning. Yeah, higher. We are above the all-time high. So be very mindful of this. Could be a little bit dangerous here up in this nosebleed area on HIMS. We didn't even seem to slow down at all right here into the weekly supply. So we have to we definitely want to be holding over the 63.75 going forward here. So very important 63.75 here on HIMS this morning. Any other things going on here? And RSP, equal weight S&P 500. I want to point out here is the downtrend that we have been in on this equal weight S&P 500, guys. And look what's happened here. We came right up into that yesterday, and we're back testing it. So be very mindful of that. That can act as a resistance area. So be very mindful of this scenario. It doesn't mean that we're not going to cross above it. We have done that in the past. But I'm just saying this is generally where we start seeing traders starting to get nervous. Or have been seeing where traders get nervous on their positions. So be very mindful of that going forward here. Qs. There is a distinct possibility that we have completed the upside pattern on the Qs. So we're right into that weekly supply. So heads up on that. At the very least for this week, this could very well be it for the current week to the upside. And that could be very much where we are at right here, right now on the Qs, a potential completed upside pattern for the week. Okay, so let's keeping a really close eye on that. And I would definitely be looking if we start losing pre-market lows, that could actually become we need to come in here and repair some of the structure. We got very poor structure in this week's move up, so we might need to come down, repair some of this structure. I think this is very good likelihood that we could be possibly doing that today, starting to repair some of this in today's session. So let's definitely keep that idea in the back of our minds here. Okay, SPY, similar situation, really poor structure on this massive short squeeze to the upside this week. If you go over here on the 4-hour again. Let's see here, what can I say? Okay, we do have a weekly point of control right here that marks the breakdown trigger. That's the delineation of the breakdown trigger, and that's where we're currently trading. Okay, so heads up on that right there, right now. This is really, in my opinion, what that decided the breakdown trigger. We got a trend line there as well. So you have a horizontal major area that presented as a breakdown trigger, and a trend line right there as well. If you go down on your 30-minute and see what we're doing right here, we're right into that. This could very well be major resistance for the rest of the week. Very, very well. And we're like 2 times the expected move at these price points. This was the expected move down here for the week, and we're way up here. So, we have to definitely keep this in mind that we could be into some major resistance to kick off here our middle of the week. So be very mindful. Very, very good chance we're into some major resistance to kick off the session. Okay, guys. And I have been trading IWM puts. That was my trade yesterday. Everybody was bullish, and I took IWM trip puts. Didn't make a fortune on it, but it did. It paid. Uh, but this is a major area here for IWM. Uh, and if you go, I don't know if maybe it's daily webs. I can't remember. 3 year. No, that's not showing it. I think I'm gonna have a bigger time frame. Well, at any rate, so this is a major. See this major breakdown point. This here was a major demand area that failed. Okay, and now we're coming up and we're back testing that prior major demand, and that has become supply. Okay, guys. So this is a major area right in this area right here, uh, and we have to be very mindful of that. We're having trouble getting through it. Uh, like I said, major 4-year resistance. We're failing against away from it again this morning, so be very mindful of that. So I just want to be mindful of that, and I do want to also point out we are trading below yesterday's uh, value area. So we're opening the session outside of value early on this morning. So, and the other indices aren't really that. I don't think they were that way. Let me double check here. SPY. Yeah, they're still inside of value. Even the Qs are. Yesterday's value, they're still inside of value. Diamonds. Diamonds are actually closing a little bit outside of value as well. So, the diamonds and the IWM are given there's the most relative weakness relative to yesterday's trading action. Okay, guys. Uh, so yeah, that's basically my takeaway here. You got to be really careful if you're pushing the long this morning. Uh, really, as far as longs go, you saw Tesla was probably my favorite is on the long side this morning. AMD is down here. It's popping this morning. Let me check it out. Yeah. There we go, guys. So AMD is reaching up into this supply. So we're actually opening the session into a potential supply area. And look at this. This has been a very long supply area. We're right back into that. So heads up on that. I'd much rather, be very careful if you're trying to push the long here on AMD. This is a multiple, very long supply. We could be digesting here for a few days before the breakout. So we have to be very mindful of that. I do have Apple on watch for continuation higher. If we can get down, and the main reason for that, let me put my other chart real quick. We'll put Apple in here real quick. Okay. My main reason for this thing is you see the Ichimoku cloud. We have not actually crossed out of this cloud yet. It's not going to really start crossing out of the cloud till tomorrow or Friday. So I'm looking to be a buyer at 210 once we cross, outside of the cloud. So I'm looking, like I said, maybe next week expiration, 210 buyer in calls for Apple potentially going into next week. So heads up on that, but I think it's still too early. You could possibly buy 210 if we come back down today, back down to 210. You could possibly, do now and for next week, and hopefully you won't miss an overnight pop that way. So that's one of the main top watches that I got going on that have not participated in the rally. But like I said, a lot of reason to think we're into potential resistance this morning. So this could be very much a digestive day. So be very careful on your expectations. We're so used to seeing these massive upside moves in the market, and it might be very difficult to find that today. So just my takeaway on the markets. Thanks for watching, and I will see you trading. I'll post my trades whenever I get a chance later today. I will be gone early this morning, taking mother to the doctor. So good luck, guys. Oh yeah, I did want to mention Meta as well. Meta had a really beautiful breakout yesterday, and we actually broke above weekly supply on Meta. So Meta is actually leading the charge back to all-time high. Our next major resistance would be 700. So we have to be very mindful of that going forward here. So I do want to definitely let everybody, we're coming into a major back test of supply this morning. So be very mindful of that. Could be an exhaustion high. I don't know yet. None of us do. But that could be a potential exhaustion high. That's right where the itchy crosses as well. So, just be very mindful of that. I would, it's not really a great place to be adding longs, but I definitely want to keep this one on watch. One of the few ones that I want to be overly short. Okay.